All right, this is SSL Family Dad with Simple Sustainable Living, and today we're installing some flooring. All right, so for those of you who have been following along with the whole basement renovation, here we have a living room that's below grade, and we had some moisture issues down here. We had a carpet and a lot of things were kind of done wrong. So we've renovated this whole room, resealed up all the concrete. I've put Drylock Extreme on all the concrete surfaces down here to keep any moisture down. Did all the walls, insulated, drywalled, redid all the electrical, and here we are ready to get the flooring down. So we're looking at flooring. There's not a lot of options for basements, and the reason is because any basement is going to have some higher humidity and moisture levels. You don't really want to put wood down here on concrete. There's no real good way to fasten or secure it. Now you can buy these squares that interlock together that raise up off the floor, and they give you kind of a subfloor on your basement concrete flooring, and then you can put regular old hardwood flooring on top of that. Definitely an option. There is quite a bit of added cost to that. The other options are vinyl type floorings. Not really want to do a laminate flooring because those are made out of like an MDF or a pressed board, and those don't do good with moisture either. So what we did end up finding was this stuff called Lifeproof. It's Lifeproof flooring. This is a rigid core, full kind of waterproof, I don't want to say indestructible, but it's a tough material. It has a real hard surface on it. It's got a good thickness to it. It's got a PVC core, and then it has a built-in underlayment on the bottom of it, which has got a little bit of a flex to it, or so it helps kind of insulate the floor. So this is what we chose to do. This isn't the cheapest product. I think this might be exclusive to Home Depot. There are lots of other options and brands that are similar to this. This is what we chose to use. So the stuff that we have here comes in 3 different planks sizes. So you've got the wide plank, you've got the medium plank, and then the thinner planks. This all comes in one box together, so you can kind of mix and match, and the floor is all this various sizes and patterns and stuff. It looks pretty cool. I will link to this product on the Home Depot website where we ordered it from, and you guys can check out this if you're interested in installing it. What I'm going to go through today is the exact same process for installing any type of laminate or vinyl flooring. The process is almost identical for any of that kind of manufactured flooring. So I'll go through step by step and show you what we're doing. It's extremely simple, and this stuff snaps together great. All right, so when you're dealing with this type of flooring, again, this has 3 different size planks that come in each box. But even if you're dealing with just all the same size planks, you want to figure out what kind of pattern you want to do. What you don't want is to line up all of the joints on all of your planks at the exact same spot, because the joint staggering it like this helps to secure this joint with the next board. So you want to do some type of a staggered pattern. Now you can do a repeating pattern where you have one like this, and then the next one right here lines up exactly with this one, and you do that all the way across. That's definitely a possibility. In my opinion, the easiest and most efficient way to do this is do a random staggered pattern. And that way, any measurement of cut that you have left over, that just goes on your next end. And all you're doing is just staggering the planks all the way down, just to make sure that you don't ever end up with one that matches right up with a joint next to it. And so that's really the most efficient. You have the least amount of waste that way, and it looks really nice. So that's what we're going to be doing here. We are going to be doing a pattern of sizes, so we're always going to do large, medium, small. Large, medium, small, we'll keep doing it that way. And these are going to be randomly staggered all the way down. All right, so as we're installing our planks here, I got the first couple planks already installed, and I'm actually sitting on those planks. That helps to hold them secure as I tap the next row into place. So I'm putting our thin plank on here, and these all have a tongue and groove. So what you do is you just kind of fit this into the groove on the existing floor. Make sure it's flush with your first plank here, and you want to put it in on about a 45-degree angle. Make sure it's nice and secure, and just lay it down. Now you'll notice right here, there's a gap along this right here, about a width of a piece of paper you could stick in there. So you want to use some type of a rubber mallet. I mean, you could use a regular hand roller if you wrap it in a cloth or something, but just pick yourself up a rubber mallet. And first thing we're going to do is just tap this joint together here between the two planks on the ends. And you can hear it snap into place. And then here I have a piece of scrap that just my first cut, I took a piece off, and you're just going to fit that in to your existing tongue and groove there. And just use your hammer and tap on the edge of the scrap piece. That's going to force this plank to click in that final paper thickness and get this thing seated right in there. All right, we're down to our last piece here at the wall, and we're just a little bit long, so we need to cut a little bit of this off. Now remember, once you have a cut end, that cut end has to go up against the wall, because once you've cut that end off, you've cut the interlocking piece off, and then that can't lock into another piece again. So that needs to be the end. So your cut has to go against the wall. It'll be covered by your trim. So what I'm going to do here is just take a measurement from our wall right to the inside of our tongue and groove here, to our groove. And just to help you remember how to do it, or which end to cut off of, put your plank in place and remember you're going to measure from this end. So we want this end to sit in here, and then the cut will be down here, which will be against the wall. So I'll show you how to cut this stuff. It's so easy. All right, so we're gonna, I just have one of the boxes down here, so I'm not cutting my floor up. And you don't need anything to cut this, anything special besides a razor knife. You know, yourself a new blade and a good utility knife, and you're ready to go. The other thing I would recommend having is a speed square or a carpenter's square to cut the larger pieces. So we're going to get to our 43 3/4, and all you need to do is just score the top edge. Get a good score on it. Doesn't matter if your cut's not straight, as mine is, because it's going to go underneath the trim anyway. And then all you're going to do is just snap it, and you've got your cut. Alright, so we've come to the end here. We're against the wall, and you got to get this last plank put in. And unfortunately, I don't have room to hit on the back side of it with the hammer to really lock it into place. And so I'm using a Wonder Bar here. You could probably use a claw hammer or something as well. And I'm taking a few scraps of flooring, some bad cuts and other things that I have here. And I'm just going to use this pry bar to get some force against the flooring. We're just trying to squeeze this little gap. There's a paper thin gap here. And I'm just going to use the force of that pry bar. You can hear it click when it gets into place. That's it. That's all sealed nice and flush now. Now this gap against the wall here, I'm going to be covering with a 3/4 inch molding that will come down, as well as a piece of 1/4 round that will run in the front of this, and so you won't see that gap at all. Okay, so we're to our last plank here up against the wall. again here in a different place, and a wide plank just won't quite fit. We got to cut a little bit off, and the easiest way to do that is just to place your plank that you're going to cut right in line with your last installed plank here. So put it right in line, then grab another one and put that up to the wall. Now remember, whenever you're doing your spacing, you don't want to put anything right up against the studs underneath your wall or right up against the drywall. If your drywall goes right to the floor, you do want to leave a little bit of an expansion gap there. So 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. I'm using 3/4 inch trim here, so as long as it's less than that, I'm fine. So we're going to put this this plank in place right on top of this one, and then now we can just take our knife and score this right along the edge. I'm going to put a piece of scrap underneath this edge so I don't come off and cut the floor. And we'll just score this all the way down. And that's that. All right, well, we're not completely finished moving back in here, getting everything situated, but the flooring is done. We got all our trim put in and our new registers and outlets, and this job is pretty much completed here. Really like this flooring. All the seams and everything are nice and tight. It doesn't flex. It's real nice and tight to the ground. It's a lot warmer than the concrete was. We really like the kind of saw cut look that this has. It's funny because this is obviously all plastic, really vinyl. It's all fake wood, but it looks real. It's printed material basically, but they do a real good job with it. It looks nice. So we're real happy with the Lifeproof flooring. It went together very well, and just extremely happy with how everything turned out here. So this is definitely not a Lifeproof commercial, but we were very happy with that product. There are a couple other brands out there that make this type of flooring, but this one seemed to be the highest quality that we saw. It was the thickest, it had the underlayment built in, and it had all the colors and styles that we were looking for. So real happy with it. But hopefully you guys understand how to put the flooring together if you're looking at buying it. You know, it's always good to check out somebody else who has done these kinds of things before you get into it. I know I usually do, and so hopefully this helps somebody out. But if you guys have questions about the installation process, or the Lifeproof flooring, or any type of flooring for basements in general, let me know. I'd love to answer those questions. And check out some of the other videos we have on this whole renovation if you haven't been following along. And there's a whole series of videos on how we renovated this whole basement into a living space from start to finish. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.